Coming down with a cold? Take 1 Med-Lemon hot medication in the morning and 1 in the evening to relieve headaches, pain and fever.
Most of us are likely to suffer from some form of cold or flu this winter, and whether you're the one suffering from it or trying to avoid it, Dr. Lerato Masimula has some tips to help us prevent the spread of infection. From my experience, I know that if one person in the household has a cold or flu, chances are that I will too. What steps can I take to prevent the disease from spreading throughout the family?
You're quite right, Deneen. We're always touching one another at home. Moms especially at risk because kids are always hugging and kissing, so it's quite unavoidable in some instances, but we can take other measures to make sure that we don't spread infections. For example, the kitchen. Surfaces must always be wiped clean after preparing food. Spills must always be wiped up. Kids playing outside, when they come back into the house, they must please wash their hands from playing with pets as well. Just encourage the little ones, to always have a basic hand hygiene. Keep wipes and tissues in strategic areas, the lived-in areas, where you can access something to wipe up before you can get to the basin to wash your hands.
On that note, what is the correct way to wash your hands and why is it so important?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let me show you how. Okay, and the first step is to wet your hands and soap up. You give those hands a good rub palm to palm and the back of each hand properly, a few seconds. And then you interlink the hands and rub between the fingers. And then you can choose wash the thumbs separately on each side. And then the last step you do is to wash the hands with the tip of the fingers each side, making sure that you're getting rid of all those germs. And it's quite important to remember that you need to wash your hands at relevant times, before and after you eat, when you go into the bathroom afterwards, playing with the pets outside, touching anything that's dirty, mopping up spills. If you're coughing or sneezing and you happen to do it into your cupped hands, then you should also wash your hands. Rinse off and wipe up my hands. In short, there's never a wrong time to wash your hands.
It's considered polite to cover your nose or your mouth when sneezing or coughing. Why is that important?
Well, it's not only polite, it's actually in the best interest of public health. Imagine somebody who sneezes and propels germs beyond 3 to 5 meters. But here's an even a better thing to do when you're coughing or sneezing. Sneeze or cough into your sleeve, because it's not always a first point of contact when meeting somebody, or sneeze or cough into a tissue that you can throw away into a closed bin or flush it down the toilet. And remember, if you sneeze into an open sleeve, you need to go wash off that area.
You spoke earlier about the importance of disinfecting household surfaces. What else should we be disinfecting and how often?
Well, here are the main culprits of infection spread. Your keys, your cell phone, the tablets, toys, TV remotes, items that you touch often on a daily basis should be disinfected, preferably after every time you use it, but it's not always practical, but at least daily.
What is the proper use of tissues and how should you dispose of them?
Well, I prefer tissues that come in pop-up boxes because then that way you avoid touching the tissues that are left behind for the next person to use them. And after you use a tissue, you need to fold it up and throw it in a closed bin or throw it down the toilet and flush it.
Even with all these tips, if you feel the onset of a cold, what steps should you take?
Well, you should actually just make sure that you stay away from other people to avoid giving them the infection. So stay home, rest, lots of fluids, lots of healthy food, and if you don't feel better within about 3 to 5 days, then do see your doctor about it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Masimula, for your interesting views on this topic. I'm sure that our viewers have benefited from your knowledge and wisdom. If our viewers have any concerns or queries on this topic, we suggest that you consult your medical practitioner.
Introducing new 18-pack Med-Lemon hot medication. Bigger pack, greater value. Feel sharp with Med-Lemon.